So I'm Ranjini. I'm an internationally certified yoga teacher. So I've also done my specialization in prenatal yoga. So I do take prenatal, postnatal classes. I've written a book on yogic secrets of eating for weight loss. It's basically about how a yogic diet will work. So I'm going to use my own knowledge in with respect to yoga and provide you all a diet. So basically I'll give you an introduction on what we are going to discuss now, and I'll discuss how you need to go through your chart, because I'll be sending you a PDF, a chart of diet which you need to follow. So you need to have some basic understanding to go through the chart. That's why I wanted to have a live session. So whenever we think about weight loss, we talk about only the numbers, what it is showing in the weighing scale, but it's more than that, because if we lose our muscle mass, which will happen gradually over a period of time. If we cross 35 and 40, our muscle mass tends to reduce over a period of time. Targeting the diet without focusing on the micro and macronutrients will lead to muscle loss, and which will in turn affect our everyday activities or even our health. So that is the reason we need to understand how to focus on weight loss. So first, I have asked you few data like BMR and your calorie intake. So first, to understand the basics, so you all have your BMR. So BMR is basal metabolic rate. It, to explain in simple terms, how much energy your body needs when you are in rest. So for digestion, for respiration, for your internal organs to work, how much energy you need in a day is your BMR. So anytime whenever you are dieting, do not go beyond the BMR value. So if your BMR value is, for example, 1500 or 1300, do not go beyond that. So it will make you very weak, because one day if you're fasting, it is fine, but if you are regularly consuming a diet that is below your BMR, it is going to affect your health. So that is the reason I asked you to calculate your BMR. And the next one is your calorie intake with TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. So if you are a person who is actively working out or who is physically active a lot, then maybe you need more calories. Or if you are a person with sedentary lifestyle or sedentary work style, then you may need a TDEE less compared to the person who is physically active. So your daily total calorie intake will be based upon this TDEE value. So this is the two values that I asked you to send me along with your diet that you are regularly using. So you need to know what is this two and how it is important for you to monitor your diet. And the next one comes the calorie count. Say for example, you need to consume 1500 calories in a day for weight loss. If you are going to consume that 1500 calories in an unhealthy way, say for example, if you are going to consume cakes or biscuits or whatever is not nutritious, that also adds in your calorie count. And if you are going to eat healthy food, say for example, your body needs only 1500 calories for weight loss or maintenance, whatever it is. But if you're going to consume 2000 calories, 500 calories extra, but you're going to consume it in the form of healthy food, that is also will be causing you to gain weight. So if you are, what you're consuming decides your body weight. And also if you're going to consume protein rich food and you're going to exercise, then it will turn into muscle. Even though you are on the higher scale, you will not look bulky. But if you are consuming unhealthy foods like junk foods, I'm not talking about consuming it rarely, but consuming it regularly will cause this. And to avoid that, we need to monitor what we eat, and we should ideally avoid empty foods. We call this empty foods, without any nutrition, and it is full of carbs and sugars and all the preservatives and everything. So you need to have a balance between healthy and unhealthy calories, and you need to know how to consume the calorie limit in a day. So this is the second point. First thing is the BMR and TDEE. Second one is about the healthy and unhealthy calories. And the third one, whenever I talk this, generally the people who take diet from me, they ask me like how to monitor this. So I'll be explaining how to monitor this. Practical methods I'll be explaining by in a short while. But coming to the daily habits, you can maintain a food journal in the initial stages, so you will know like what you are eating in a day, and also you can practice the portion control. The portion control only I'll be explaining it in a short while. And also we need to be conscious of emotional eating, because many times stress eating is very common. We tend to consume food because of our stress. We tend to feel good after consuming food, and then we tend to eat without any control. So that comes the part where yoga and meditation helps to avoid that. Fourth topic I would like to touch is the yogic classification of foods. So whatever I spoke till now is the science based tools and techniques to maintain our calorie, or to see how far we have to eat and everything. But coming to the next one is the yogic classification of food. So traditionally you might have heard it: Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic characteristics of food. So Sattvic is kind of vegetarian foods, and Rajasic is kind of spicy foods, or foods that are stimulating, like a coffee or fried foods, or onions and garlics. These kind of food comes in Rajasic. All kind of spices comes under this. And Tamasic is kind of heavy and dull, maybe non-vegetarian meals, or processed foods or leftover foods, and these things comes under Tamasic. I'm not going to tell that you need to be Sattvic or you need to be Rajasic. Food choices are personal, and nobody can force any kind of food in anyone. The thing is, we need to have a balance. So that is why the yogic diet comes into picture. So if you are going to deal a day where you need to be very active, you need to keep running, you need to do a lot of other works, then obviously you need to consume some amount of Rajasic foods rather than the Tamasic foods. And if in a day you need to be very calm, and when you need to be very peaceful, or you want to enjoy, be happy, or those kind of days, you need to increase the Sattvic food. We cannot consume like 100% Sattvic or 100% Rajasic foods. So Tamasic foods, best example is biryani. If we eat biryani and then we feel very heavy, we feel like sleeping for a while, and that comes the Tamasic part. So it's us who needs to decide which kind of food we need to consume in a day, and which kind of food ratio should be high. So ideally, for me, for example, if I have to take like 4 to 5 hours of classes in a day, if I'm consuming complete Sattvic food, yes, I can take classes, but I cannot be like I cannot take very active classes like a rigorous vinyasa flow where I need to sweat a lot. I cannot take that much classes in a day if I'm consuming complete Sattvic food. So if I mix a bit of Rajasic, then it will be suitable for me. So this is how a yogic diet is planned. And also one more thing that comes into picture is the body prakriti. So I'm not sure if you have heard about it. Whenever you visit any Ayurveda doctor or Siddha doctor, they check the pulse. They check the pulse, and there is other ways to find your body prakriti. So basically Vata, Pitta and Kapha, and also combination of these three. So we need to identify which type of body you are, and based on that, and also based on the weather, what climate you are currently in. If it is summer, we need to take some foods, and if it is winter, we need to take some fruits. That comes the body prakriti and the environmental prakriti. So we need to combine both body prakriti, environmental prakriti, and also we need to consider the Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic food category while planning our food, so that we feel energetic, because food can change our mood. So, and many times we miss to notice that whatever food we consume tends to make us agitated, or tends to make us very lazy, or without any motivation or something. So everything is because of the food, because food is the building blocks of our energy, and we need to focus on these two parts, the yogic food categories and body prakriti, before we decide a diet plan for us, for any specific person. So this is about the basics. Coming back to weight loss, a healthy weight loss. According to our philosophy, I'm not sure about other fad diets or other fast diets which promotes fast weight loss or anything. But according to us and according to many scientific research papers too, losing 1 to 1.5 kg or maximum 2 kg per month is good for you, because a slow and steady weight loss will help you to preserve your muscle mass, as I said before, and also you'll be having a proper diet plan to preserve the nutrient deficiencies, because many times after going through a rigorous weight loss, many people have nutrient deficiencies which will cause other health issues. And also for women especially, we need to be very cautious, because rigorous weight loss will affect our hormonal creation, so it will create a hormonal imbalance in our system. And also there are many chances that we might come back to the same weight after stopping the diet or after a while, because very strict diet we cannot follow for a long period of time. So also these kind of very fast weight loss will make you irritable or water loss, or and it is difficult to sustain. So aim for consistent and sustainable habits. We have discussed this in the habit video also. So for long term results, try to do this. And next comes the important part, that is the macronutrient. One of the main macronutrient is the protein, because I have seen that in our Indian diet the intake of protein is not in the essential category. Say for example, we need like at least 0.8 to 1 gram. If you are targeting for weight loss, I will say 1 gram. So if you are in 60 kg or 70 kg weight, you need to focus to consume 70 grams of protein in a day. So you cannot consume 70 grams in one go. So you need to split it, maybe 3 or 4 times you need to split it, and 20 20 20 10 like that you need to split and eat, because we cannot consume protein in one go, and it is very hard to digest also. Even the 70 grams, many people, when I frame the diet, I will not give directly 50 grams. If they are currently consuming just 30 grams, I tell them to consume first 50 grams, increase their digestive capacity, and then go for 70 grams of their required body needs, because if you are increasing on one go, it will cause you digestive issues. And whenever we are consuming protein in excess or more than the average that we were consuming before, we need to also look into the hydration part. We need to consume water whenever we are thirsty, and we need to consume good water intake should be at the required level to avoid indigestion again. So this is about protein. So for vegetarian people, many people ask me like it's very less sources of protein, but still we need to plan our diet in a way that we consume sprouts, we consume paneer or tofu, we consume certain kind of cereals, certain kind of maybe fortified foods to avoid, and nuts to avoid protein deficiency, which will lead to muscle mass weakness in our body. So this is the protein part. And you all know about mindful eating habits, which I discussed already in many of my videos. Other things are, one video I have actually missed to add in the chakra cleansing sequence, which I did in my paid version, but the one video I missed is about biological clock and circadian rhythm. So we need to eat and sleep according to our circadian rhythm and according to our biological clock, so that it will be easy for the body to digest and assimilate the nutrients into the body. So for example, is big lunch, light dinner, and eating before sunset. This all we might have heard. This is to protect our Jataragni. Jataragni is the digestive fire. So it is very strongest at the mid of the day when the sun is at its peak. So at that time, if we are consuming all kind of foods that needs heavy digestion, it is easy to process. But when we are consuming the same in the late night, it is very hard for the body to digest. And according to yoga and ayurveda, the main cause of any disease is because of ama. Ama is undigested food particles that is not properly excreted from the body. So when the ama resides in the body, it causes diseases. Wherever it resides, it causes diseases in the system. So to avoid that, we need to focus on mindful eating, and we need to focus on eating in accordance to our clocks, and tracking the progress and strengthening the agni. So if you have completed the Manipura Chakra video, if somebody is facing low digestion or digestive issues, then you need to be cautiously practice the Manipura Chakra asanas, so that you will strengthen your digestive fire, so that you will improve your digestion capacity to increase the food intake and to increase the nutrient rich food intake in a proper way. So this is high level. So now I will try to share a document and explain about the portion control. Coming about portions. So if you see, many of you have heard about weighing the food, like how much it weighs before cooking, after cooking, and this is one main reason many of the mothers find it very hard, because they cannot cook only for them, and also they cannot ideally target or ideally calculate the calories that they have to consume in a day because of this weighing and thing. Maybe some people might have tried that, but this is yet another easy variation. I'm not saying that weighing your food is bad, but weighing our food might not be easy in many ways, but this one is very easy, because so I think this is one common one for 1500 calories. Say for example, this person needs to consume like 6 palm sized portions of protein per day. For example, this is a sample one. So if you have to consume 6 palm sized portions of protein per day, that is 2 palms is around 50 grams, and you can see that this is ideally work out, because if your kid, you need to calculate with your kid's palm. For you, if you're going to calculate, you need to calculate with your own palm. So if you open your palm and place the protein food source on your palm, it should be like 1 palm. So if you're going to consume 6 palms of protein in a day, you can split like 1 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 1 in the snack, and 2 in the late night, or sorry, night dinner. So likewise you can split your protein. And veggies, it will be like 4 to 6 fist sized portions. So it is like holding it like this. So that much veggies you need to consume in a day. So if you know this kind of calculation for you, it will be easy for you to calculate how much you need to consume, and also you will be easily following it without any need of external weighing scales or something like that. So if you can see, this person needs 4 cup handfuls of carbohydrates per day. So the ideal reason of us in reducing our protein intake, because we are increasing our carbs intake. So carbs is nothing but our rice, chapati, idli, dosa, everything comes under carbs. Yes, even those things will have certain amount of protein, but it's majorly carbohydrates. So if you're going to consume only 4 handful of rice in a day, and you're going to have 4 to 6 fist size portion of veggies per day, and this much amount of protein per day, and your healthy fats should be this. So this is your macros. So I'm talking about the macros here. So the carbohydrates, proteins, and your fats are coming under this category. So your veggies will calculate your nutrients and other sources. And if you have any questions in this measuring part, because do let me know, because this is more important. This will help you to follow your diet very well. So if you have any questions here, just ask me. If not, I'll go for the next. Yes, Purnima. So, egg in the sense, if you're going to just boil the eggs, it is very easy to know that in a regular sized egg, you have 6 grams of protein. So, that is very easy to calculate. But if you're doing scrambled eggs, if you're going to make omelets, then you can measure it in your palm size. So, just நம்ம இந்த இப்போ ஒரு omelette இருக்குன்னா, if you're just keeping your palm over there, if it covers 2 palms, then you know that it is like that 2 palms ஒரு மீல்க்கு, if you're splitting it like 2 to 2 for 3 meals a day, 6 palm size க்கு, if you are making omelets, then you can see. And also you need to notice that if you're making omelets with a lot of excess veggies, and if you're going to make it with onions and everything, then the exact protein quantity we cannot calculate. So we need to, for example, sprouts, that's what I said. If you are putting the sprouts on your plate, make it like this much thick layer on your plate. So for example, this is a plate. So if you are going to fill it in this thickness, and this is like 1 palm. So this is 1 palm of protein. So if I am filling the sprouts, if I am filling the paneer or tofu or chicken or everything, which is I am able to hold it in 1 palm. So this plate is like 1 palm size plate. So in the madri you can calculate your protein count. So again, if you are going to consume only the sprouts, because in our cooking we mix everything. Even if you are going to do sprouts, if you are going to make it in a thick gravy like thing, again it will be very hard to calculate. So you need to make your recipes in a way that is easy for you to calculate, at least in the beginning. Or you can calculate in a way that if you're going to make curry, if you're going to make it for a count of 2, then you need to make in quantity like 6 palms irukra alavukku you need to calculate before you cook, and then you need to consume it in the curry form. Because if you're going to fill it in the curry form, sprouts may be only 3/4 of the plate or half of the plate, depending upon the thickness of your curry. So your recipe should be in a way that the palm size calculation is easy to do, because when you come to when we visit Western people, they consume a lot of meat or steak or something which is very easy to keep it in the hand and measure. But our kind of food, it is we need to tweak, and we need to see how to calculate in an effective way. Yes, that's true. Only when you start practicing, you will understand how it works. So because yes, you can do that also, like calculating each and every protein source, whatever you are cooking, you can calculate and do everything. But the main problem is many of us not having enough time for that, and that is the reason we are not able to follow the diet in a long term. So when it comes to like measuring with the palm, so your eyes can measure. Maybe 1 or 2 days you will need some plate like this or something like this to measure, but after a while you will not need it. Your eyes will know, okay, this is 1 palm size, this is 2 palm size. Your hands will know, your eyes will know. So that's how it works. But yes, we need to do it with practice. And fats is also very essential for our body. Many people who are in diet think that fats are very bad, but in yoga we emphasize the importance of ghee. Ghee is very good source of fat and omega-3 fatty acids. So adding a teaspoon of ghee in our diet is also very good. So here they have mentioned 4 portions is 60 gram according to this person. So it calculated by all the other foods in your diet. So for example, if you're making some curry, if you're making some dry curry, you will add some tadka, there will be some fats in it. So you need to make sure you are calculating everything and adding it in your daily routine. So when we cook, we need to make sure we are not adding a lot of fried foods which will increase the fat percentage in our diet. But I'll not say do not consume this at all or something like that, because that will increase the stress in our mind. Try to balance. If you are consuming oily foods in one day, try to go without oil on the next day, so you balance. Because it's not just one day what you eat, it's like in a prolonged period of time what you're going to consume decides your healthy way of losing weight or building your muscle mass. Approximately, this is just approximate, this is not like complete measurement. So if this is for 1500 calories, then for somebody with 1800 calories, because somebody here is having some weight loss calories is around 3000 calories. Yes, their BMR is nearly 2000 and their calorie is 3000 calories. So for them it will be doubled. So it is based upon our calorie intake and our body needs. So if you can see the question that you have asked and whatever I have answered is mentioned here. So if you can see vegetable omelette and nut butter toast. So eggs, 2 eggs in our palm. So one palm we can hold 2 eggs. So some onions and vegetables and some butter. So this is how we need to calculate like our food. Ideally this is not our own food, we need to replace it with ours. Say for example, here we can add rice and we can add curry, we can add paneer, we can add whatever we consume regularly in our diet. We don't have to go and consume foreign diet for losing weight. Whatever we eat in a daily day, we can just improvise that. So for example, adding nuts in our food, roasted peanuts or soaked peanuts. Peanuts is high source of protein, and almonds, walnuts, these kind of nuts we can add in one meal, maybe in the early morning meal. So a sample meal of mine or any person without any major complications, I would say consuming some nuts, a handful of nuts, so that covers one palm size of nuts, and adding some fruits and maybe some milkshakes with added oats, or you can add fermented rice. Majority of my days I consume fermented rice because it's easy for me to prepare in the morning because it's overnight prepared, and also it is very good for our gut. I will reduce the quantity of rice and increase the quantity of yogurt, and also you can also add Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is nothing but a thick version of curd. If you're not able to get Greek yogurt, you can just strain your regular homemade curd into a hing cloth and you can dry out the water. Maybe you can use it for other cooking purpose, and that thick curd is maybe 1 cup of that thick curd will come around 1 palm size of protein. So you can add more curd and you can reduce the quantity of rice to match your protein requirement. So consuming eggs also in the morning is good, maybe in the form of omelette or in the form of boiled egg. If you are going to consume idli or dosa, what I would suggest is reduce the quantity of idli. Say for example, if regularly you are going to consume 4 idlis, you can reduce 1 idli or 2 idli and add a handful of nuts and some fruits. So you're not missing out your regular favorite food items, idli or dosa or whatever it is, and then you're also adding the nutrient part into your diet. So this way you need to balance and see. And for idli and dosa, we know the ratio, it's 4:1, 4 times rice and 1 times of red dal. So you know, if you're going to consume 4 idlis, it's 1 idli is protein and other 3 idlis are carbs. So this way you can calculate how much protein intake is going into your body and how much calories you are intaking in a day. So the calorie calculation is really very hard for Indian foods without the usage of any apps. So if you are interested, you can use apps, but I will suggest to follow the hunger cues. We say to eat only 3/4 of the stomach. So in yoga we don't in that days we didn't had any calculations and everything. So what we followed is following our hunger cues. That's why from the day one I have been mentioning about eating mindfully, but because when you are eating mindful, you will be able to monitor your hunger cues, and you will be able to monitor if you are full or not. Your satiation cues, you will not be able to address it if you are just your thoughts are wandering somewhere else in TV or mobile or something else. So if you eat mindfully, you will know when your stomach is half full and when your stomach is 3/4 full. So if you stop when your stomach is 3/4 full, over a period of time you will be reducing your portion intake. So that is another method to keep your calories low. So for example, in a day, if you're eating 4 idlis, if you're going to consume only 3 idlis, it will make your stomach 3/4 full. So stop there. So that's how you reduce your intake according to our philosophy. We don't calculate calories, we don't monitor what we eat and everything very minutely, but on the whole, we try to follow mindful eating, and we try to follow um, this kind of. Yes, Apra. Yes. Many times when we are not hydrated enough, we tend to consume food. It's ideally thirsty that's making you go for eating fruits, because fruits are rich source of water, and majority of the time, as you said, when you're consuming oranges, watermelons or something, your body is seeking for water. So that is why you are craving. So because this is one big topic, like what food or what kind of food that we crave for decides our deficiencies or what our body needs. It's basically what our body needs. So when you know that you are eating more fruits, and if you want to reduce it, what I will suggest is reduce the quantity of food during summer. So in lunch, rather than taking rice, maybe you can take half portion of rice than what you regularly consume, so that the calorie level, as I said, is maintained even in summers. And also monitor the thirst. Whenever you feel hungry, try to take few sips of water and see if your hunger is getting low. So if that is happening, then maybe your body is asking for water, and we are not able to identify the cues properly, and we are putting the body with a lot of food. Okay, yeah. So same way for lunch. Lunch is like a regular South Indian meal always for me, but the only thing is I do not put rice for the second time. Only one portion. If four handfuls of carbohydrates in a day for me, maybe 2 full handful of rice if I put, and then I fill my plate with all the other things like my veggies, my curd and everything. And then I even after finishing the food, if I'm feeling hungry, maybe I will go with some kind of cut vegetables, carrots or cucumbers, because according to Ayurveda, it is not good to mix up fruits with cooked foods. So even after this, if I am hungry, maybe a banana is the only fruit that you can consume after a meal. So this is how we tend to balance our diet, rather than putting extra rice and increasing the carb value. Yes, even the banana will have some carbs, but taking different food items will help you to balance the nutrient needs of the body. So rather than taking rice, I can go for banana, which I cannot eat if I'm not eating it now. So this way you can try to balance, you can try to tweak in different things into your system, so you will be able to follow a healthy pattern. And whenever you're going to binge eat any kind of fried foods like chips, samosas or papads or something, you can try to minimize, I would say, in the beginning, and then gradually you can reduce it to a certain extent, because you know it is not healthy, but still we are consuming it because of habit. That is the reason I added habit as one important video in this sequence, because if we have to follow a good diet, then we need to have a strong hold of habit formation. It comes with habit, and it does not comes with just knowledge. Even if we know, that's why we tend to eat something bad. Even if we know that is going to cause harm, we tend to eat it because it's coming out of habit, or it is coming out of stress eating. So we need to focus on both our body and mind whenever we are focusing on the diet part. And late evenings, I tend to add soups or the chickpeas or any kind of sprouts in a kind of salads or sandwiches, or in the form of cutlets, where I just pan fry and everything. These kind of foods. Yes, you can also have chapati and sabji, but reduce the quantity of chapati or dosa, and increase the side dish quantity. Rather than making it as thin gravy, make it as thick gravy. For thickness, you can add grinded sprouts. You can steam them, you can grind them, and you can add it in the curry. So it is getting added in your diet. When you start to follow healthy diet, your entire family will be able to follow a healthy diet pattern. So any specific questions on diet or how to follow this, you can ask me. If not, we can wind off. And yes, one important factor, whenever you are going to follow a diet, you need to make sure all the nutrient deficiencies are addressed in your diet. So for example, if somebody is deficient in vitamin B12, then they need to add a good source of vitamin B12 into their food. If not, for example, vegetarians, they cannot get sources of vitamin B12 and vegetarian source of food, then they can go for supplements. In our tradition, we try to avoid maximum number of supplements. Like, we don't advise taking supplements because everything can be connected through the food, but it takes time. For example, if you are nutritionally deficient and it is causing you harm, then you cannot wait for the food to address your issue. Especially people with digestive issues, if they, even though they are consuming it, it is not getting absorbed into their body, then they need to go for other methods like supplements and everything, because if their digestion is not happening properly, then yes, they need to go for supplements. But if you are not in that state, then yes, you can try to go for food sources. As I said, vitamin B12, many of the others may not know, the best source of vitamin B12 for vegetarians is a good fermented product. The fermented rice, we call paresoru. There is a method to prepare that. You need to prepare it in mud pot, you need to add curd, salt, everything overnight. You need to use your hands to mix the rice overnight, and you need to have it by, if you're doing it by 7:38 in the night, you need to consume it after 12 hours. In the morning, by 9 or 10, if you're going to consume it, it will be like fermented well, depending upon the climate too, fermented well, and that will be helpful in improving the vitamin B12 values in your body. So we need to address each and every deficiency too, because I have addressed only the macro here, I haven't addressed completely the micros here. So we need to address our own deficiencies and our own. So I'll try to see if I can share some of the recipe videos that's available, and in the group maybe now and then I'll try to put in a plate and a little of recipes, something like that I'll try to share, so it'll be easy for you to follow. And as someone said, it'll be easy only when you start following, and then only you'll be able to notice the difficulties that comes with the practice. Okay, so thank you so much for supporting me and completing my work, and thank you all for filling out the form, because those graphs are very essential for my project work. So thank you so much. Okay, thank you all for joining, and thank you all for your time. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So see you all. Yeah.